Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Look at this sunshine. So early in the season as well. Hey, listen, you know how I like to be on Facebook?
Yeah.
And I like to look at what everybody's talking about motorhomes and caravans and camper vans.
Yeah, what have you found?
It's been kicking off big time this morning. It's made my morning. Everybody likes a bit of juicy argument, don't they? But basically, somebody sold a camper van, and a couple of days afterwards, they've had like a fuel leak on it. And then the buyer has gone back and said, you need to pay for half of these repairs.
Really?
Oh, God. And it's split opinion big time. So I thought, let's have a look into it. I thought it'd be quite interesting to discuss. Where are we, Claire?
We're in Ingermells.
Interestingly enough, we've not actually been down this side of it, have we?
No.
And there's a reason for that, and that's because it's quite hard to park a motorhome down here. But look at it. There's this massive ride. This is all shut yet. It's still too early in season. However, there's loads of people here.
It's very busy today. I think the weather's helping that.
I think the weather's brought them out. We've just had some chips, haven't we, before we started, for energy for your video to get some life into us. Very expensive.
Yeah, extortionate, I think is the
It
word.
were £10 something. I ordered a sausage with chips, but the sausage were just kind of like a bit of skin with something inside it. Still trying to work out what that was. You just got straight chips.
I knew to be safe. I played safe.
However, I did say to you, didn't I? Well, mine don't feel quite cooked. And you went, no, mine are fine. And then you nearly chipped your tooth, didn't you?
Yes.
So gravy were nice. But it came to £10 something.
Wow.
For a small sausage, chips, another chips, and then gravy on them
Very
both.
small portion of chips.
This is Caravan City.
It is.
This part of the UK. It's Caravan City. There's loads of caravans to sell. So these aren't really what we're talking about. And the reason why we're not talking about these is because a lot of the time these are sold through companies.
That's right. We're talking about private sales.
We're talking about private sales, totally different. Apparently, it's different to the law. So, before we get any further, we are not lawyers. You're not a lawyer, are you? Are you
Absolutely
a lawyer?
not. No, I'm not.
I'm definitely not a lawyer because you have to study for stuff like that, and it's not my forte. So, what I decided to do, well, first of all, buy a Madry. Madry, we're back on Madry, everybody. Cheers. Yeah, so the thing is, the big problem that everybody were having, it were all about whether sold as seen were actually a legal thing. And a lot of people said it's not actually a legal thing, but there is like a Consumer Act and it applies to selling things. And if there's a problem with it or there's a warranty, then you can claim back on it. However, if it's a private sale, then you're not a business, so you don't fall into that. Oh, that was nice, wasn't it?
That's yummy.
Madry. Hello, Madry, my old friend. We're liking a little bit of a market, aren't we?
Yes.
Don't know.
You want some? Hello.
Time you close. Is that Donny Osmond?
Yeah.
Won't mind that. Sweet taste from Spain in Tadcaster. You might notice that we're not really filming that much, and that's because some of the music's quite inappropriate.
It's very inappropriate. I've just seen a pair of trousers for £1.
£1?
£1.
Oh, that's value, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 50p a leg. Because we're living in the modern world, there's all sorts of things where you can find stuff out.
Yeah.
I've started doing this stuff. I don't know if you guys do the same, but there's a thing called ChatGPT, okay, and you can check things on there. It's not always accurate, I get that. Sometimes when you say how many letters are in my name, it can't work that out. So I'm not quite sure how accurate that is. And then there's also on X, controversial, that's Elon Musk's thing, it's called Grok. So if I'm looking at that stuff and somebody says, oh, it's this, I like to go onto these AI things and I try and match them both up. Match up. At this time of year, there's loads of people that'll be privately buying camper vans, motorhomes and caravans, but they'll also be privately selling it. And it could be a minefield from either side.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah. Well, we were hoping to take you around the market here in Ingermells.
Yeah.
As we spoke about what this video is about, but I don't think we'll be able to use much of it because of the community guidelines here on YouTube. So basically, they've got a lot of music on. They've got a lot of music on that's not only copyrighted, but it's totally inappropriate. Rap's very
Lots of
big.
swearing.
A lot of swearing and subjects that you don't really want kids to hear.
I don't want to hear it.
No. And then also they seem to sell a lot of things. If you're in the process of planning some criminal activity, then you can get anything you need.
Yeah.
Down here, so yeah, so we didn't do that. Anyway, we're going to look at it from a buyer's point of view. If you're a buyer and you're looking at buying a motorhome, camper van or caravan, then the really when it all boils down to it, the onus is on yourself. Let's say that you're buying a motorhome, caravan or camper van privately. Privately, and this
That's
is
the key word.
point.
Yeah.
What protection do you actually have? Well, apparently there's no automatic warranties, refunds, and there's no legal comeback in most cases.
Wow.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. It is scary, yeah.
Leading me to drink. One of my favourite things, Claire, when we come to Seaside is I like to see if I can spot any of these famous people that like to spray on stuff. So up here, let's see what we've got. Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Yeah. Well, he's got 3 sons, hasn't he? Huey, Louie and Dewey.
Oh, that's it. There's Pluto.
Yeah.
Is that Natasha Bedingfield or is it Claire from Steps? Could be Claire from Steps.
A bit like Claire from St Chris.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
This person over here, is that, I don't know, Mylene Class maybe? I don't know. But then I've spotted a really good one down here.
Yeah.
Ken Dodd. Can you see right up in background? Apparently, the biggest mistake that buyers make when they're doing this is that they do not get an independent inspection. And you can get these. I suppose this is the same for cars, also motorbikes. I mean, come on.
Don't talk about motorbikes.
Don't talk about motorbikes. But yeah, check that it's not being stolen. Check that everything's working. But the due diligence on making sure it's not stolen or got outstanding finance, well, that's one thing. But what this actual thing we're about is that there could be something that's wrong with it that they haven't told you about.
Right, okay.
Okay? So although that's the case, if the buyer makes a false representation, then it can be fraudulent. So, for example, if you come to me and go, is there anything wrong with your camper van? And I know that engine don't work. And I go, no, it's fine. If I know about it, that's different.
And sell it.
That's different. I've got to tell you that there's that problem.
The engine doesn't work.
If I'm aware of it.
Right.
Because it's got to be fit for purpose. However, if it needs new brake discs or it needs new brake pads and I haven't checked them and I don't know about it and it's got an MOT, that's for the buyer to look at.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
You can't go back afterwards. So.
Good examples.
But what if something does go wrong? Can you ask for a refund? And apparently, no, you can't. So sold as seen is not actually like a legal term, like, I don't know, modus operandi, or about that.
I thought you weren't legal.
No, I don't know what it means.
So
but
it's not a legal term.
No.
But
it kind of is how it works.
the description.
Yeah, sold as seen. Is that for bungeeing? Would you bungee that,
Crikey,
Claire?
absolutely not. Would you?
Absolutely not. The thing is, right, if you're selling a caravan or motorhome, and you know something's wrong with it, you're selling it privately, but you don't let the person know. Now, that's a different matter.
Yes.
That's not sold as seen because you know that you're misrepresenting what you're selling. So it's got to be fit for purpose, though. If you're selling a camper van and you know that the engine's blown and they come and give you the money and they don't run, that's not on. You can't do that. Or if you say that, you know, this is fully working and it turns out that it's not, you know, because you've checked it, then you're on dodgy ground, really.
Okay.
Anybody that's looking at getting into motorhoming, caravanning, camper vanning this season, if you're buying private, I think it's worthwhile getting an independent person to check it out, don't you?
Definitely. It's a lot of money, isn't it?
The reality of it is that it's not going to fall in your favour if it goes wrong. I've come here because I'd like to see just how hard you can punch, Claire, if that's all right.
Really hard, if need be.
You're a good puncher, are you? This is, I suppose, how people that work in the car industry, this is why there's a premium, because it's different if you buy from a commercial entity.
The rules are different.
The rules
law
are
is different.
Yeah, because it's covered by I think it's an act. We'll get to that in a bit.
Right.
Have you ever bought a vehicle and it's gone wrong?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
What have you bought?
I bought that Audi and about 3 weeks later, something went wrong.
What happened to it?
But it actually broke down, it broke down.
Did it?
Yeah, on a big dual carriageway. I had to pull over to one side. It was very
you really
upsetting,
wanted that
actually.
car, didn't you?
Yeah.
But after that, I know that you said it was never the same.
It was never the same.
Was that a private sale?
No, so I bought it from a dealer and they fixed it and gave me a hire car.
So you had a warranty with that?
I did. Now, if that had been a private sale, of course, I wouldn't.
No. What would you have done though? Would you have gone back to them if it were a private sale, and
No.
would you have said, "Oh, you've sold me this; it's broke down"?
No.
What did I buy? I once had a Passat, and
Yeah.
I bought it from a dealer, and I had it for a little bit, and it almost set on fire. It started smoking. Yeah, and I went back, and this was a dealer, and I said, and it were only a few weeks
Yep.
afterwards, and I said, "This isn't right. There's something not right with this car. It shouldn't do this." It were all smoky and everything. And they tried to fob me off and told me that they weren't doing anything.
Really?
But luckily, I found a logbook. And do you know what the logbook said?
What?
It said that this car has been made from parts. That's true. It's been made from parts and may not be original.
Really?
So I said to them, "Excuse me, but I bought what I thought were a VW Passat, and you've not pointed this out to me." And guess what? Got all my money straight back.
Yeah, okay. Dodgy ground.
car.
Yeah.
But that was from a dealer.
Right.
So a little bit easier on that front, I think, because you've got this Consumer Act that covers it, but if you're buying private, it doesn't.
So I guess then if that was private, you would be stuck with that car.
Yeah, that's it. Well, or would you? Is that not a misrepresentation?
Good point. Yes.
Does anybody know? Let us know. Let's talk about if you're the seller now. Okay.
Right,
Are
yeah.
there any comebacks on you as a seller? Okay. So if you sell a motorhome, campervan or caravan privately, could a buyer come back to you and
Yeah.
demand money off you? In the legal position, I suppose it's the same thing. As long as you haven't lied, you're not responsible for any issues after the sale.
Quite clear cut, that, really.
Yeah, you just got to be honest, haven't you? And if you're not a dealer, consumer protection laws don't apply to you.
Do they not?
No,
Right.
because you're not a business, you're just selling a private thing. But then there's the legal dilemma, but then you've got a moral dilemma. Making our way up to the beach, but we don't know if we can get the dogs on there because this is a blue flag beach zone. So let's go and see what there is up here. So if you sold a motorhome to a family who's embarking on a massive journey and adventure, and they buy your motorhome and they're going to set off around the world, and the day after, there's a
engine
fuel
goes.
leak or an oil leak,
Yeah.
would you give them half of the money? Because that's a moral dilemma.
It's a tricky one, really, because if you didn't know either, you don't know about that.
Well, legally,
Very tricky, isn't it?
legally you don't have to, but if that was stopping them going on their journey,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I think I'd be seriously thinking about that,
It
wouldn't you?
pulls at your heart a little bit, that, doesn't it?
100%, yeah, I think that would do. We're on the beach. I think we can have dogs on here. They've closed it off there, but I don't know if that's the bar that said no dogs, but there's nothing to say you can't have dogs here. But I'm not sure if this is a blue flag beach. I think whoever's in charge of the flags needs to come and blue flag it again, because I've seen it looking better than this. We were told, weren't we, before we came here, that by a couple that we saw, hello, we were speaking to you earlier, and you said that it was a little bit, needed tidying up a bit. It's a shame to
Yes.
see, really. There's some risks, isn't there?
Yeah, big time.
So let me ask you, would you sell our motorhome privately?
Yeah.
You would?
Wouldn't you?
Well, there's a lot to go wrong, isn't there?
No, because if I'm telling the truth and I sell it, then I've done nothing wrong.
That's fair enough, but what if the person that is selling it to actually believes, no, it's not sold as seen, they haven't got rights?
Well, it's legally, they've got no comeback on that, have they?
Well, no, but it can escalate, can't it? It's really interesting to see in forums how people argue about stuff. You know, and how somebody thinks that what they're saying is right, and, you know, we're not saying that we're right here, it's just we've done a bit of research, this is what we found out. As we say, check it out yourself. Could be wrong. The law's really complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But that's the biased point of view. Now imagine if you're a seller. If you're an unscrupulous seller, well, there are them about, but I think people watching this, that's not us, is it? We're not those type of people. But you can fall foul of it. What happens if you sell your campervan, motorhome or caravan in good faith,
Yeah.
and then something goes wrong with it, And one of these people that thinks that, no, you have a legal obligation to sort it out.
Fix it, yeah.
And they want it fixing. What do you do then?
Well, you'd have to get advice, wouldn't you?
But what if they're not listening? What if they're saying no? You're paying for it. I suppose at the end of the day, like our motorhome, I couldn't tell you if there was anything wrong with the brakes.
We don't think there is.
Or the exhaust system, or the engine, or the clutch. You wouldn't know, would you?
No.
But what if we sold it and a day after something went wrong?
Well, if you've looked after it properly, it's MOT'd, it's serviced, like ours is looked after.
Yeah.
We don't envisage anything anyway, touch wood.
Oh, isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
But it's upset people.
What, on the
It's upset people because I think some people have been stung by it, and then some people have sold things and gone, no, it's not me. So it's divided people. It's always a bit hazy this time of year. We've been here before, it's been hazy.
Yeah.
Nice though, isn't it? I love
Nothing
it.
soothes the soul as much as a walk on the beach.
Hey, missus, what you doing? So here's the lowdown in a little packet, yeah? So the truth about private sales in the UK. So that, remember, this isn't legal advice, this is just what we've done research into. So always do your own research. But if there's a debate, this could be where it gets settled. So private sales, buyer beware. Once the deal's done, it's done. You have no automatic right to repairs or refunds. So that's no automatic right. Sold as seen is real, but it's not a get out clause. It's not a magic phrase, but in private sales, the buyer takes on the risk. So it's a transfer of risk.
Really important to remember that.
Yeah.
Then.
So it's not sold as seen, it's just as a risk and it goes to them. And then the only time that a buyer can take legal action is if the seller lied or misrepresented the vehicle. Then and only then could they be taken to court.
That makes sense.
I think so.
If you've lied.
Now, somebody said that the burden of the proof to prove that everything was okay was on the seller, but that's not true in private sales according to our research. The burden of proof is on the buyer. So if you're the buyer, you want to take the seller to court, it's on you to prove the fault was there at the time of the sale, not the seller to say it wasn't there.
I get you, yeah.
So that's different, how it shifts, isn't it? So I don't know about you, but I wouldn't mind a little Madry.
Oh,
Shall we go and get a Madry in the sunshine?
twisted my arm.
Let's get ourselves off this blue flag beach. So somebody also said that that there's laws, especially in Europe, and they mentioned Belgium, and Belgium got mentioned, but in Belgium, yes, there is a law that says that you got to check, it's got to pass a check before sale, but in the UK there's no such thing. Nice to see Army cadets out. So that's where the powers of AI is coming. I use it a lot. If you don't use ChatGPT, you use it loads, don't you?
It writes letters for you and everything.
We're not sponsored by it, and it's not 100% perfect. And as we say, we're not legal experts, so do your own research. But anytime, like, we've used it for all sorts of things, haven't we? You get like a contract and you're not quite sure, you can take a picture of it and just say, can you summarise this, please? What does this mean?
And it'll tell you.
That's it, yeah. It helps us out loads. So I use it more than I would do a search engine now.
Oh, do you? Yeah, whack it into that.
Yeah, I do, yeah. So between them, the two, so ChatGPT and Grok. And then if you get same answer from them both,
It's pretty much
it's either all tied together and they're trying to pull the strings of the world, or it's probably right. So, but yeah. Anyway, let us know about you. Have you sold anything, and then the buyers come back to you asking for refund or money. And
Well, what
how
did
did
you do?
how did
Yeah.
it end up? Or did you buy something and then think that it had been sold?
You'd be misled.
Misled, yeah. Or did you buy something and it broke and then you got a refund?
We're really interested to know, aren't we?
And we're also interested to know what you actually think about it. So hopefully you found this quite interesting, like I did. It might just be me. It might be my Sunday morning looking at stuff and thinking, oh, that's interesting. But I'd never even thought of it. But obviously, start of camping season, there's going to be a lot of transactions that go. So even if it's just made one person think, then I think that it's worth it, don't you?
Yeah, especially if you're going to buy something privately, you just check it out
Yeah,
first,
it.
properly.
Have you enjoyed your time in Ingermells?
I've had a great time.
I find Ingermells been really interesting. I think it's got a lot to do with the traditional seaside towns. It's quite edgy in places, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's a great word.
Edgy.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's got a bit of edginess to it.
Yeah.
But it's very nice as well. You know, we shall see you next week for some more adventures. It's like we're in full flow now with
We
adventures.
are. So
There's plenty-
please subscribe, like, comment.
Don't forget about what?
Facebook and Instagram.
That's it, and we'll see you next time. Anyway, on to the Madras. And they buy your motorhome, and they're going to set off around. And they buy your motorhome, and they're going to set off around the world.
Yeah.
And the day after, like there's a
engine
fuel
goes.
leak or an oil leak.
Yeah.
Would you give them half of the money? Ooh, let's see what Claire's really like. And then no refunds, no returns and no warranty unless it's in writing. So if you sell it and go, oh, it's okay, if there's any problems, I'll let you know. And it's written, if you say that,
That's different, isn't
that's
it?
different. Let me know if you've got any problems, but it's got to be written down.
Yeah. I said that when I sold the awning.
What, did
Let me
you?
know if there's any problems.
Are you one of these people? Is that what you said?
So, well, I sold it a year ago now, didn't we? Nobody's been in touch.
Well, please don't let us know. Let us know if you've got any problems.
So I just said.
Well, it's got to be written down. You didn't write it down, did you?
No.
No. You know, which side would you fall on? Would you refund somebody? On to the Madras. Cheers. Still no sponsorship from them, by the way. Bye.